Hi there and welcome to Thursdays with Annette at 2 o'clock on Facebook Live, and welcome to my kitchen. That's right, I got the apron on, so we're cooking today and I'm super excited. I'm going to be making the pepper fish out of book 6, but I'm also going to make some tartare sauce because I just love the tartare sauce with fish, and I'm going to show you how quick and easy it is to make it yourself. You'll never buy a pre-made jar ever again, and that's out of book 1. But before we get cooking, I just want to talk about how much fun we had last week talking about, the trip to Sydney. Everyone was so welcoming to us at the expo. It was just such a fun time for us, and a beautiful part, Darling Harbour. And I also was sharing with you my low-fat makeover tips for your favourite takeaways. I mean, it was fantastic, got a great response. Let me just read you a couple of the thoughts because I thought it was fantastic. Sally wrote that she's lots of great ideas, thanks Annette, and I've had to watch this 3 times to remind me. Well, I hope it's sunk in by now, Sally. Lois commented, I'm with you, Annette. I love tomato sauce on fish and chips too. Yes, I think there's a few of us that do like it, and maybe we don't admit it to everybody. But Sheila also said, thank you, Annette, a lot of wonderful ideas on takeaway meals. I just love your cookbooks. Well, thank you, Sheila. Tracy wrote, thanks so much for your great tips. As always, I struggle with good choices when buying fish and chips. So I hope you got some really good ideas from the show. Now, Carmel also asked, how much sugar is in the breakfast shakes and where do I get them from? Now, the reason she was asking was because the giveaway that from last week was the breakfast shakes, which is fantastic. I can't wait to tell you who the winners are. But I wanted to respond to that because a couple of people asked. Now, Carmel, there's 16.3 grams of sugar in a serve of the shake, but when you look at it, it's broken down into 2 ways. You've got the sucrose, which is 10.2, but there's also sugar in the lactose, which is the milk, and that's 6.1. I don't like artificial sweeteners. I hate stevia. I can't stand the taste, the aftertaste. It's hideous. That little bit of sugar in there, if you've tried them, you'll agree with me, they're not super sweet, they're just right. And I think that little bit of sugar is also great to give you that little bit of energy to start the day, and it's all about moderation, and 16.3 is not so bad for a shake. You should check some of them. If you want to buy them, just go to my website, simplytoogood.com.au. Now, the winners for the shakes, drum roll please, the fantastic Vicky Lynn Smith. Now, she was very excited. She's been dying to try the shake, so I had to give her a pack, and she picked the creamy vanilla, so I'm happy for you, Vicky Lynn. Now, Patricia Baker was very happy to have the wicked chocolate, and Cheryl Slap wanted the iced coffee. So they're the winner chicken dinners for this week's show, or last week's show. I wonder what I'm giving away this week. I think it's going to be a little bit fabulous. I'm feeling really generous, Bill. Shut it up right now because I'm giving away some fabulous stuff. Because you know what? I'm a giver. So before we start cooking, I've got to set my kitchen. So I've got my bag. I still call them Franklin bags. I mean, I really need to update what I call them. Probably won't have them for much longer the way the shops are going with it, which is probably a good thing. I've got my utensils ready here. I've got, for the recipe for the fish, I've got my cooking spray. Now, I'm only going to do 2 pieces of fish because I can only fit the 2 in the pan. I mean, I probably could squeeze them in, but I'd rather just do the 2 for the show, and you normally get 4. We need an egg white, some milk, breadcrumbs. You've got the cracked pepper, garlic, the crushed garlic, I love that, Parmesan cheese, sesame seeds. So that's the recipe, and the basil, fresh basil as well. So that's the fish, but the tartare sauce, you just need some capers, some gherkins, and some of my low-fat mayonnaise that I love. Okay, so to get started, I have my kitchen sink ready with bubbles, so it's fantastic because I like to throw things in. At the end of the day, time I've cooked, most of it's clean in the sink anyway because it's been soaking, so I love that. So what I'm going to start off with first is I think I'll just chop the basil and get that out of the way because you need to have enough for 2 tablespoons. Now, if you're looking at me going, Annette, I hate basil, because I kind of feel you either do or you don't. It's a little bit like coriander, isn't it? Well, I was trying to think of what alternates I could tell you today. So we're just going to finely chop this basil. Do you know what I reckon would be really nice in it? if you don't like the basil, parsley would be fantastic with the fish. Doesn't parsley go well with fish? You know, you could do the coriander. Bill, you were suggesting oregano, weren't you? Yeah, Bill's nodding over there. He said that the fresh oregano would be really nice in it as well. But, you know, if you can, I would stick with the basil because it's just really fantastic. Now, I'm going to let you in a little secret how I invented this recipe because it wasn't meant to be pepper fish. And it's interesting, guys, you know what? Some of my mistakes or some of my mishaps actually lead me to some different recipes. And so what I was doing when I was writing book 6, I was determined to do salt and pepper calamari because it's so popular, but it's fried, and I thought, you know what, surely I can do a low-fat version of that. No, I couldn't. The old problem there was that it really does need to be deep fried, and so it didn't work with the calamari. So I decided to go on to another little idea, and that was my pepper fish. And so when you see how I put these crumbs together, it just gives it a great flavour. And really the salt wasn't a great idea either because, you know, I'm all about healthy heart, and so that's what you want to do. No, you want to have a low salt. Now I'm going to put my gloves on because when I'm crumbing, the last thing I want is to get all those crumbs and bits and pieces under my nails, in my jewellery. It's just not what I like. So I'm just going to chuck these on. There we go. And I'm going to now put in the ingredients that we need. So to make the crumb, we start with 3/4 of a cup. Let me just move this a bit. 3/4 cup of just normal breadcrumbs that you buy in the supermarket. Let me put that in the sink. Now I'm going to do a cheat thing here because in the recipe it says 2 teaspoons of freshly cracked pepper, and normally I just get this and just stand there patiently waiting for the cracked pepper to crush up, but I decided to use my little cheat one today, and it's already the cracked black peppercorns done, and I'm going to do 2 teaspoons. So let me move my little spoon down because look how much easier this is. I kind of love it. And that will just give it that beautiful pepper flavour. Now we want 2 teaspoons, and I've just moved my measure spoon down to 2 teaspoons, so I've got a quick action there. So that's 2 teaspoons of the crushed garlic. You know me, I just love garlic in everything. Now I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of the Parmesan cheese, and I just like this Kraft one. It's just super easy. You could crush, you know, grate your own if you want. That's up to you. But that was nice and easy for me. And then we're going to do 2 tablespoons of sesame seeds. So you can see it's not just a normal piece of crumb fish, is it? Absolutely not. Right. Now I'm going to put in the 2 tablespoons of the fresh basil, finely chopped. Alrighty, now I'm going to just remove all this. Alrighty, and what you're going to do now is give it a good mix up. There you go. I mean, you could use a spoon if you wanted, but I like being able to get in, and I'm sort of messing up the garlic a little bit because it's quite sort of clumped together. And mix that all together with those beautiful sesame seeds, and look, that's looking fantastic. There we go. So there's our crumbs ready to go. Super easy. And I'm going to pour it onto the plate. So this, of course, is enough. Let me get rid of the bowl. This is enough to do 4 fillets of about 150 grams of fish each. But today I'm just going to do 2. So wait a minute, I've got to mix this up first. I'm rushing, I get excited, don't I? I'm going to put an egg white in with the milk, and that's the wash that we're going to use. See, I've saved about 6 grams of fat by just not putting that yolk in. The egg white will do all I need for the clinging of the crumbs, so why have it? It's all about those saturated fats and getting healthy. But this dish is only 5.5 grams of fat per piece of fish, which is fantastic, and it has 231 calories. We're going to serve this with some salad tonight because we're excited we can have this for dinner. Okay, so now I'm going to pour the wash in. Let me just pop them in the sink. And now I'm going to heat up my pan so it can be cooking, because I also want to make you the tartare sauce. I mean, we're doing 2 recipes today. How fabulous. Stop it right now. We are the cooking kings and queens here, aren't we? Alrighty, so I've got that heating up. Now I'm only going to put it on about 7 or 8, because I don't want it to be too hot, otherwise it burns the breadcrumbs. And so I'm just going to grab my piece of lovely fish. Now, if you're wanting to know, I'm doing pepper fish Addabut 6, and I'm just going to coat it really well with that wash. Let me move them over. And into the crumbs. And I always just lift it over the top. You know, you want to press it down fairly well so it sticks. More on the top. Doesn't it look great with the fresh basil and everything? It's just a little bit different. And I mean, you could do this on chicken breast, you know, flatten your chicken breast a bit, and you could crumb it with that, or even the pork fillets, I reckon would be really nice. So let me spray the pan. I'm using like a non-stick fry pan because I think that works really well. And that's looking a bit fabulous. I'm going to pop that in. Oh, wait a minute. Now what I do, I'm rushing, I'll put that there and I'll do the other one. Now if you're interested in the fish that I bought, look, I just got the bassa from Woolies. It's not too bad because it's quite a light fish. You know, sometimes my kids complain about certain fish that it tastes dirty. Have you ever had your kids do that? But how fantastic to be serving up fish to your family, because you're going to get the fantastic omegas that we really want, and we should be eating as much fish as we can. And I'm just pushing that in. Super easy. Now the trick here is, because you know we're not frying it, I just get the fillet and spray it with cooking spray. And same with this one. Fantastic. And then when I turn it over, I'm actually going to spray the top again before I flip it over. And so that's my pepper fish ready to go. Gosh, look at the mess. I'm sorry, Billy, I'm making a mess here. I'm just going to chuck these over here. And I think I'll take off my gloves. See, that was great. Fingers are fabulous. Now I just want to chop up, let me just grab this. I want to chop up the gherkin, because we're going to flip in right now. While that's cooking, I might turn that down to 7 actually. I'm just going to show you how to make tartare sauce. I wonder if you've ever made it yourself, because once you've done this, you'll just love it, and it's so quick and easy to make, and it's so delicious. It's out of Simply Too Good Ritual number 1. So let me just show you. There's the picture of the pepper fish in book 6. So that's it there. And here in book 1 is the tartare sauce. So that's book 1 with the tartare sauce. Okay, so let's just watch this pan. I don't want it to cook. Bill's writing something down. What are you saying, darling? Canola oil, olive oil spray, someone's asking. Yeah, look, the best oils that you can use are the canola, or the sunflower oil is really good as well. Don't use the olive oil when you're cooking, because when it gets heated, the components change, so that's not so great. Now we want 3/4 cup of mayonnaise, and I use the 97% fat-free, of course. Wrong way. Let's have a look. A little bit more, another spoon. Fantastic. And so I'm going to put in the two chopped gherkins. And I'm just going to, you know, I'm being lazy. I'm just going to make it in the little bar mix blender. And I've also got a tablespoon of the little capers that you buy in the jar. That's it. Now I'm going to give that a quick zhuzh. Where's my little thing? Here we go. Turn it on. Yep. So just blend that. Let me see how my fish are going. Where's my little turner? I think while I'm doing this, I'm going to turn my fish. See how I just sprayed it? Oh, look at that. Gorgeous. How beautiful does that look, guys? Yum. All right, back to the tartare. That smells so good. Now, I've just sort of mixed them all up, and now I'm just going to add in the mayo, because you can see how quick and easy it is if you've got one of these little blenders, or if you've got a food processor or a blender, you could use whatever you've got. Otherwise, you have to just finely chop it, just by hand. There we go. Now I'm just going to go around the edge. Now, if you wanted to have 2 teaspoons of this tartare sauce, it actually works out to be like 0.6 grams of fat. How fabulous is that? I mean, that'd probably be a good 5 grams of normal mayonnaise at least. Done. I mean, how easy is that? Alrighty, so now we've got the tartare sauce, and I'm going to cheat a little bit because I've got a cooked piece of fish here, because I did that just before. So here is a piece cooked because we'll have that going there nicely. I'm going to do a little bit of tartare sauce to go with the fish. That's what I'll be having for dinner tonight. I mean, really, that tartare sauce is just so easy, and I find that when you've got your mayonnaise at home, then you can also make that, like cocktail sauce is really easy. That's in book 1 as well. But you know what? The pepper fish doesn't need lemon with it, I don't think, but the tartare sauce is always just a bit nice. Now, one of the things that I really like about these recipes is that it's different. You know, they're interesting. They're not just boring fish. Now, I did a check because I thought, I wonder how many fish recipes I really have. Now, I'm not talking about prawn or salmon or any of those, but just straight fish. I found that I had 20. So don't tell me that you're bored with fish, because, you know, you can have your lovely grilled fish if you want, but seriously, I have got 20 fantastic ways with fish. And so, like, even like the spicy type fish is like a bit of a stir fry. The ginger lime fish, I love that because you actually put ginger jam in it, so it gives it a little bit of sweetness, but it's got that great ginger flavour. I love the fish Alaska. That's in book 1, and you make this beautiful sauce, white sauce, and you put crab in it and then put cheese on the top. I've often made that for dinner parties because it's fantastic. But who doesn't love a barra burger? The crumbed fish with cheese sauce in book 5, that's fantastic. Like, I mean, I could go on forever. It's just so good. Now, this week's giveaway, I was thinking that definitely you need to have the book 1 to do the tartare sauce. Yes? So I'm going to pick 3 lucky winners, and they're going to win book 1. But just stop it right now. I know, I'm a bit fabulous. Let's give you book 6 as well. And that way you can do the tartare sauce and the pepper fish all together. So we're going to pick, or I do, I love picking it, 3 winners. That's how it works. So what you've got to do is you have to like the page. You have to share, because that's what's important. And then, let me get my little sign here. Hashtag simply too good in the comments. So it's the hashtag simply with the number 2 good. Now, if you do that, and I know a lot of people tend to write SIM, but it's SY. I don't just judge you. No, I don't kick you out if you do an I, but it is better if you do the Y. Remember, simply, Sim, Annette, Sim, S-Y-M. A bit quirky, but it's fabulous. Anyway, so just do that. And next week, I'm going to pick 3 lucky winners. I'm just turning this down because I think the fish is done. Now, can I tell you how to check how a fish is cooked? I think a lot of people are a bit scared about cooking fish. I mean, if you don't like the smell, just put the fan on and keep it on while you're cooking. It's a bit like cabbage, it does sort of spread the house around. But what I need to do is I need to go into the fish here and just look inside, and if it's white, then it's cooked. If it's got a clear look to it, then you've still got to cook it. And I'm just seeing mine now, and it needs just a little bit longer because they're fairly thick. And that's the thing, the thicker the fish, the longer it takes. But the worst thing you can do is overcook fish. It's like meat. It becomes tough and tasteless. And this is where I think, you know, I remember my mum, God love her, she's 88, but she's never been a cook. And our fish was fish fingers when we were growing up, you know, because she just didn't know how to cook fish. And I'm kind of grateful because she would have massacred them, I'm telling you now. But if you can get some fish into you, that's fantastic. Now, next week's show, I'm sorry, but you know I love being fizzy and fabulous in the kitchen, so I'm going to be back again next week because, you know what, I had a few requests and I've never forgotten it, that a couple of ladies said to me, I can't make scones for life of me, Annette. And I went, really? You obviously haven't done the recipe in book 4 with the fabulous light simple scones. So I'm going to show you guys how to make scones next week. So you need to be here because it's going to be happening. You're going to be the scone king or queen from next week on because, you know, it's so easy to do. And I have a little story about how I created that recipe as well. Now, this is my son-in-law Chris's favourite. When he comes to visit from Sydney, he always says, Mum, are you making pepper fish? Bless his little heart, but he's not going to be here this weekend, so we'll be eating it all ourselves. So now, the thing is, who knew weight loss could be so deliciously healthy? I mean, we've got all these fantastic recipes. Check out this pepper fish with the salad. Who wouldn't want that for dinner tonight? And I've had so much fun sharing my 2 fabulous recipes. You can tell I'm a little bit proud of my recipes. I just love them because what it is you're loving yourself at the same time by giving yourself healthy, nutritious, fabulous food. But hey, cheap and easy to cook at home. So I'll catch you next week. Fantastic that you joined us this week. I love it when you come in and I love all your comments. I love reading them, so please keep them coming. And don't forget to visit the website www.simplytoogood.com.au, and you've got lots of tips and other recipes to go on and have a look. So I'll catch you next week back in the kitchen with my apron on. So thanks for joining me and I'll see you next week.